Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today is our final and last lecture, and I crammed the rest in one lecture. And one of the biggest reasons is they all fall into the same category. It's actually programming. So you can take programming for game, you can do programming for mobile or web, for enterprise, and of course, software engineering is a methodology, one kind of methodology of the programming, and that's very popular. So they all are different job field, but again, they all do the similar work. Okay, but as a person, you might not be able to do everything, like in your day-to-day job, because they are all kind of fall into different categories. But again, depending on the job nature, you might end up doing mix and match. Okay, so for me, this is where actually most of my career went. I did not do game development. However, I did mobile, I did web, I did enterprise. Actually, I'm still doing enterprise. And of course, we try to follow some level of software methodology, software engineering methodology. It depends on the organization or the company or the corporation that you're working, how they are actually set up the standard. So when you talk about software engineering, it's not only the person himself or herself, it's the supervisors, and in general, the whole organization is involved. So if the organization is not complying with that kind of architecture, you yourself might not be able to actually follow that engineering method. But I kind of know, as I said, what needs to be done, because I do have background, my teaching background, my of course professional background, and also my as a student I took classes on these things. So I kind of know actually what needs to be done for this. Okay, so having said that, uh, so again, going back to the topics that you send. So we first day we did cover that data mining, and as I said, data mining is just a subject. In reality, it's usually data science or data analytics. Data science would be the high level, meaning the more advanced level job, and then data analytics is lower level. And you have a whole complete YouTube lecture publicly available. And last Sunday we covered cybersecurity hacking together, because they kind of go together. So you should look into it. And that one, by the way, it's a private lecture. Because of the topic sensitivity, I made it available private. So if anyone is interested, you can type your email address at the bottom of this link that I will make publicly available on YouTube, or in the data mining first lecture YouTube. So, but again, if I don't know you, it's going to be hard for me to give you the access. So I have to know you. So come with a reference. So, or I may know somebody that that kind of, but only for the cybersecurity. Other than that, the other two are publicly available. So today we are covering on, again, game, mobile, web, enterprise, application development, and software engineering. So it all goes together. And here the outline. And as you can see, the rest of the lectures, I have bunch of links. So if some of it is you need to go back, you can come back to the YouTube lecture and type up these links, and then hopefully you can look more deep into them. So I'm gonna go kind of one by one, just to show you how these courses are being taught. So again, like previously what I was doing, I was trying to show you the different courses in US or Canada that they offer based on the topic. So this first slide that I'm showing you right now, it's about the game. So I have all the links open, so I'll show you, and you get to see how these courses are taught. So for someone like you, if you're interested to become a game developer, what you can do, you can take these as a sample and go through the course. You don't have to really sign up for a course to learn some topic. In this kind of scenario, a lot of times they do share almost everything about the course. So basically, you just have to do the course on your own at your leisure time, but don't take 6 months to a year just to finish a course, because these are something that needs to be done constantly. If I were you, if you're really curious and really interested, I would at least go on a daily basis or a weekly basis, because otherwise memory fades away. Meaning you are doing something today, and a week from now you might not remember everything what you have done. But if you do something constantly, you kind of remember things. So same thing in the programming world. If you are constantly doing things or doing programming, hopefully you get better with it. But you have a stop, then you have to refresh yourself. So giving my example, in 2014, until 2014, I was a full-time programmer, Java programmer. From 2014 to 2019, I was a part-time Java programmer. So that, of course, that was causing a lot of problem, because when I would go back to do some programming, a lot of things I have to refresh myself. Meaning, if something I was able to do in 1 hour, it would take me 4 or 5 hours, because I was not frequently doing things. Same thing with current job right now. I'm actually a kind of programmer slash DBA, so I have to refresh myself because there was a lacking. So same thing with the programming world, you have to constantly do it. So this is the next one, that's about the mobile app. Similar, if you are someone who would be designing mobile app. By the way, mobile app, you don't really need to be in an organization. That's the beauty of mobile app. We have teenage kids, high school kids. They are actually founder of the different mobile apps out there. So if you are someone who is really interested on design, programming and doing mobile app, you can come up with some idea and then design an app. If it's an Android, put it in the Google Play Store. If it's in an iOS, you put it in the Apple Store, and they charge you minimal. Before, when I did it, I did an Android in I think about 2014 or 13. So that time I was, I just paid $25 and then put it up there, and of course then you just invite your friends and start doing the marketing. So for the mobile app, again, it's a huge market. You can be an entrepreneur, both for Google Android or Apple iOS. So this is something that you don't really have to work for anybody. You can be on your own, and it's like a small startup. So think about it. If you're someone who like independence and like to do it on your own, but you have to be kind of savvy, meaning you should really learn well, and you have to have a good business structure, meaning like something that you think might work in your environment. For example, like say something that people will like. Okay, so for example, if you take ShareIt, the one of the popular app that you have in Bangladesh. So that, what was the idea behind it and how it got popular? So study some of those apps, well-known apps in Bangladesh or anywhere, but you have to have some kind of customer group that get attracted to it. Or like Imo. Imo is very popular in Bangladesh. We don't use Imo here. So what make them popular? Okay, so something that you think maybe people will be interested to do, interested to look into. And a lot of times you don't even have to charge people. You can go attract the advertisements, and make money from there. And even in the YouTube videos that I'm posting, if it gets certain hit, after that, advertiser gets attracted to it, and then they offer you money for putting advertisement, but it has to have some minimal hit and people subscribing. Okay, so having said that, the next one is the course that I am involved. I taught this course a lot. since 2006 to 2016. Okay, so right now I'm teaching into the data science or data analytics track. So, but that's why I even know very well about this course. So I'm just giving you little highlights about this. Actually, how this course is taught. As you can see, for the web, it's first mostly the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, which are the web languages. And I'm not going too deep, but you know, their language itself, and like in scripting languages. And you will see JavaScript is also coming in game development and also mobile apps and stuff like that. So, and then I would cover the Java, because Java is also well known for web, you know, and then of course, some of the Java Enterprise Edition. This was the basic Java, and then Enterprise, we would cover servlet, beans and stuff like that. So, and then, you know, we would talk about the application server and database server and the web server. And I also have a link for you here for what's the difference would be for web development and enterprise app development. Right now, I'm an enterprise application developer. So, you know, it doesn't make much difference. Basically, you know, when the organization is big or we are covering in different aspects, you know, we call it as an enterprise. For the web, we just mean to be on the web. And enterprise is also another example that, you know, you might be communicating between web, mobile, or giving services into like iPad and other like, you know, technologies. So this is the other one about the software engineering. Again, different links that I have for you. And again, as I said, software engineering is a methodology. You can apply this for any of this job field that we have been discussing. So, you know, and it has to come through the organization. And again, if you're someone who is thinking of being an entrepreneur and you want to, like, you know, build a farm for, like, say, mobile app, you are the one who is making all the decisions. You can actually, like, you know, make your farm follow the software methodology. And there are different ways things can be done. So, you know, you could actually take, again, first learn. And in your case, since you are all first year, so if I were you, I would invest as much time possible to learn the, like, you know, technology. Because, you know, unless you really know what's going on, you would not be able to say or understand what needs to be done. So if I were you, invest as much time as possible learning. And as I gave the example earlier, that even like, you know, high school kids these days doing programming and also learning different things. So anyway, I ran through all those lectures just to show you the links and how this was done. So let me just go through the actual link. So the first one that we were talking about is the game development, right? The course is called Game Design and Development. As you can see, this is a PhD doctorate teacher that's teaching, and it was from spring 2019. And it's they're also sharing, by the way, I think I mentioned about GitHub. GitHub is a profile where people are actually putting their codes. So you might find lots of sample codes in GitHub. So what I wanted to show you is here actually what are they teaching. Okay, as you can see, there are projects. So here, for example, see, they're showing that choose a game. Genre means type, what kind of game you want to design, and then question yourself, why are you designing, I mean, why are you choosing that? And this is the course. That's what the instructor or the teacher or the professor is teaching to the students. Outline the theme and story, and what is it about, what is the purpose of the game, outline the script for the game, like, you know, whatever you want to have the speech and all that stuff, and outline the mechanics of the gameplay, basically what are the different details, logics and stuff you want to do, and then show the storyboards and the initial designs. So you have to have the, like, you know, hand designs, so the mock-ups and the prototypes, and then finally you build the application for it. So they're trying to show you how this is done, and this is their final project. Okay, so this is and they're giving examples, and then how this can be done. And again, so you can actually go through the links and look into it. Okay, so this is another one, again, for the games, and I'm directly showing you to the topic. See, they're highlighting on the directly to the JavaScript, which is a scripting language, very famous nowadays. You can use it for web, you can use it for mobile, you can use it for game. And again, by the way, this is a game, game development course. So they're teaching you the JavaScript fundamentals, then learning, showing you the maths. And again, this is about the linear algebra, Cartesian coordinates, because there are a lot of things that has to be done using the math for the game design, and then doing the game design and development. Okay, so here, as you can see, there's some pre learning. I mean, I shouldn't say learning, meaning you have to come up with the idea. So, what are you in the development technical speaks, what would be the user inputs, how the graphics, what is the audio, what is, and all that stuff. Okay, so here, and again, this is the course that teaching you from scratch and going all the way to the down, and also they're showing you the book, what book they use. And okay, so you can look into them if you're interested. Sometimes some of these books you can find them online. Okay, and again, they're showing you what are the softwares you would need to design a game like this. Okay, so, and see, again, this is they're showing into some MIT work as well, and you can actually use their service. It looks like it's free, so that's why they're advertising it here. And different kinds of 2D softwares, and then PDF display, what you can do, and see this. So I believe you have enough information to actually, if you're someone who wants to get started, and definitely as you start digging yourself, you will be finding lots and lots of new information too. So definitely, and here it's showing like course weekly schedule, what are the things they're covering, and you can take this also yourself and try to learn it on your own. You don't have to really sign up for a specific class to learn all this. Okay, so this is another one, same. Okay, that's showing you, and again, this is just the last semester. Okay, so this is showing this similar course where they're talking about how the course is designed. And again, see, this one is using C#, which is a Microsoft Word language. Okay, so you can and it's a little different, not exactly the same what you have seen. So here it's talking about like how the game has been designed, and these are different resources. If you go online, some of these resources you can find yourself. So again, from the blessing of the Googles, we have lots and lots of resources in front of us. We just have to do our own task. And see, this is another one. Again, we're still in the game development, and see, this one is even better. The instructor is, see, they're giving you what book. Actually, the book is, I think, see, all the different URLs. Okay, so if I go from here, see all the different book, and sometime, as I said, you can find them for free online. So you can start looking through these books or some of it and see how this is done. These are day-to-day topics. So this is one of very good, because here they're sharing all the links, okay, and then giving you chapter by chapter reading what you should be reading for for a course like this. And then of course they're sharing all the slides. So if I were teaching a course like this, I could just directly take this and teach from here, if I have the authorization from the instructor. Okay, so everything is kind of ready for you here. And see different projects, and he's sharing all the information about the projects as well, like how you can really form, like even forming a team if you're doing a teamwork. See, making games in Flash, prepare a game treatment, prepare an assessment list, implement the test code, complete and present prototype. So see, he has real lectures for all this as well, okay, this course. And there is some sample games as well, okay. And there is lots of links, and he's sharing of course the exam material as well. So, and there is more links down there. So again, you can really benefit from course like this, okay. So that was all about the game. The next links that I was showing you was about mobile app, okay. So you can see that this mobile apps work similar, but it's about mobile applications, okay. So here, as you can see, again, they're sharing with the different links. Again, all of these are programming, so you really have to do some first your learning, and then apply the technique from whatever you learn. And see, they're sharing with you. Actually, this is their internal college library or university library. You might not have access to it, but either way, you kind of know what are they looking for. See, this where they're calling about checkpoints. So basically, the first, their students are installing the tic-tac-toe applications, then designing a mobile app, and then submitting the screenshots, okay. So and after they submit this screenshot, they talk about all the like implementation stuff, and then of course they do their designs, and finally at the end they're doing the actual application. So again, you kind of give you the guideline about how this can be done. So again, this is just one of them, and I have more links. Again, these are different kinds of syllabus, and this one is focusing more on the Android. As you can see here, first they're taking a hello world or introducing you, then Kotlin is one of the library that get used for designing mobile app. MVC, this is a one kind of design pattern for programming. And so all these different topics been covered, and see, they're sharing even videos for you. So most likely these lectures have been videotaped the same way that we are doing, and you can take advantage of this, okay. So it's going part by part. So the goal is at the end for you to know how to actually design a mobile app, okay. And again, I'm just bringing some of the information to you. If you do more searching, I'm sure you will find lots and lots more informations out there. And again, they do have some similarities, and sometimes they even don't match with each other, okay, even though it's the same course. So here, this course is about both iOS and which is Apple iPhone, and also Android. And they're talking about, see, Xcode, right? which is also another very well-known library, gets used for designing mobile applications. So here you can, again, from this, looking into these topics, you can really dig into it and learn how to do the programming. Okay, so these are different courses, and again, I don't think you have in Bangladesh, your CSC will have any courses for designing mobile app or designing game app, or even software engineering, or you know, I don't know the new syllabus, but I think from the old syllabus none of this was there. So but either way, it should not be that much critical. And this is from Harvard University. Okay, so similar, say Xcode. Okay, so and interface build, and then mobile development with Swift, another library. So you know, these days lots of design happens from the library. And see, talking about model view controller, you have seen this also when we were talking about the game development. So see, they match, you know, because at the end it's all programming. Talking about the networks, this will be always there. You might have course on networks because that's important for computer all along. Okay, so again, this is some of the samples for you. And see, these are some GitHub resources. It should be available for you. And some other resources as well for you to dig into. And this one is the other one about the enterprise app. So I just wanted to show you the difference between web app and enterprise app. So again, it's not much difference. See, here is also talking about the web. Basically, it's similar, the course that I was teaching. The difference is they directly start from the Java, whereas I would cover also like, you know, web browsing tools, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and also Java basics. Here they directly start with the Java enterprise editions, which is like, you know, used heavily for web. Okay, so for designing web app, there are three actually applications on the web. You have three options: either Java or .NET, which is Microsoft tool, or PHP. Okay, so you know, I kind of have proficiency and did the work on all of them, so I kind of know how they needs to be done. Again, these are just different programming, but the end, from the user perspective, they all do the same work. Okay, and of course behind the scene there is database involved, so depending on what kind of databases you use, it could be Oracle or free one MySQL, or it could be Microsoft SQL. And in my current job, we are .NET like, you know, shop. So basically we have SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, and also in the front end is the .NET. So again, that MVC design pattern is coming, model view controller. So towards the end, they talk a little bit about XHTML. XHTML is the newer version of the HTML, which is the HTML kind of 5. The new came like a few years ago, which make the HTML programming much easier. So anyway, here again, it's showing you the similar work, the same thing that I was talking about, JSP, then Servlet, and JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. So these all are covered in that course. So it, again, from a student perspective, web development, enterprise app development, or mobile development, there are some little bit of changes, but again, on the game development, on the design perspective, it will be changed. But behind the scene, they all will do the same programming. Okay, so these are the rest 4 that I have. These are on software engineering. As I mentioned earlier, software engineering is about design methodology. Basically, again, these are programmer also, but they are kind of structured. So first, as you can see, there is, we call it product lifecycle. We have specification, basically what is that you want to design. That would be first discussed. You don't talk about anything about coding yet. First is actually proposal, all the way very beginning. You come up with a proposal, meaning what is that you want to design, and then from there you do some specifications, and see it's giving you a little detail. And then here you talk about little design, and then basically the third one, it's supposed to be more like testing, and then of course you do into the final phase. So this is a very short one, or here you can see talking about software. And if you do a Google like software lifecycle, you will find tons and tons of information about this methodology. There are different kinds of methodology they use. So again, this is all about designing, and this professor is also sharing all the slides. You can really look into them and understand what is this course all about. Okay, so here is that for you. And then again, this one, this is they're talking about software engineering, but not necessarily it's actually all about software engineering. They're also teaching some about programming. There's Ruby, there is SAS, and then they're talking about how you collect the information from the user, and see there is also, they have links. And then REST Rails, these are some other design pattern programming languages. And then another one is agile methodology. This is another software design pattern. And then refactoring, which is more like re-engineering existing code. How do you do, like, say if somebody already designed a program, how do you make sure that you can read it and either patch it, or if you have to redo the work, how do you do it? It's a lot of work. I always have to go through this. And see, project management, this is about managers. So this is about the organization. And then here again about the business models and stuff, and then design pattern, and how they do things in practical world. So again, and this is about their covering on the core edX, which is if I click here, you will see the link down here. So these are the courses that he took from the out there. That's free courses. So again, you can really dig yourself into and then learn some of this technique. Okay, and this is another course on software engineering. So this is about C++, and believe it or not, they're not teaching anything about software engineering. It's more about the programming. Okay, so sometimes actually the course, they call it advanced software engineering. So, and this is from MIT. Okay, so they might have a beginner software engineering. So if you notice here, they're touching C++, algorithms, Java, and then of course directly going into the project. Okay, so I guess in this case, and then of course sharing all the books and stuff that they're covering. Just looking if your book is here. No. So, and see all the different links for the book. So the last one I have is also from last semester. This is a real software engineering course. See, they're sharing the link as well. Okay, so as you can see, talking about how to design a software, and then see here even part 1, software engineering and software process, project design or product design, and engineering design. So this is a pure software engineering course. And then implementation or the construction, and you can look more deep into it. And then deployment, support or maintenance, and then project management, and then of course talking about the final project. So basically, if we talk about software engineering methodology, it's mostly lots of documentation, lots of pre-work, and the good advantage of it, you don't have to redo the same work over and over. Okay, so that's the biggest advantage. And hopefully you get the idea of all these different topics that I just mentioned. So I kind of try to give you a little more deeper. I'm not going over any specific terminology like I was doing for the last two lectures, the cybersecurity and data mining or data science. So because I think it's more important that you understand how this the education, or how you, if you want to be someone like say in any of this, like game developer or mobile app developer, web developer, or enterprise application developer, I'm trying to give you how you get started. Okay, that kind of information. So here, see, I have some other links here. I'm not going to go over them, but you can look at it yourself. 30 best books that you can read this year, for example, like, you know, that for doing a game development. Okay, see this, there's more, like, you know, practical, this is actual book. Okay, you can download this book for free. And then of course another one, 9 best programming languages to learn in 2020. Since we are talking about application development, of course something was popular in 2000, year 2000 is not going to be same as 2020, and might not be the same in 2025. So this year, like say, what are the 9 programming languages that out there? And if you want to see, like say, what was like, you know, 2015, so you would see the changes that's happening. And again, there will not be much of a change in 5 years down the line, but it's kind of good to know. There might be new programming languages are coming, but in reality, none of the programming languages completely disappears. You always have some kind of job. Maybe there is a tight market. If I'm talking about mainframe or our old system where COBOL programmer was to be very popular, there's not that many programmers there, but you know, still demand is there. So again, and you can get resources from YouTube a lot. So you know, you should not have any issue or any problem with learning any of this at all. Okay, so, and again, you can look into the job field, trying to understand that what they are actually looking for. Like say, for example, and I showed this before, so if you want to be a game application developer, what are the jobs out there and what are they specifically looking for a person who would be taking that job? So if I were you, I would take like 10, 20, 50 different job posting and look at it, what specifically they're using in the market. That also gives you an idea that what is currently hot in the market, means what is that you need to know if you are someone who would be building your career on this. And same goes with any of this. Okay, mobile application, we know there is the most popular ones are iOS, the Apple, and Android. Okay, and I can tell you in my previous job, they still did not find a programmer that they want someone who can build both of the app and this circulation. They're almost waiting 3 years. Okay, and of course money is a big thing. They were, I think, paying willing to pay like about $70,000 US. So, but again, as a good mobile programmer who would be both proficient with Android and also Apple, they're not going to work here for 70,000. Okay, it's a 6-figure salary, more than $100,000. So anyway, and it's not very easy to become proficient in both. So you have to really take your time, and there are tools you can use that can be utilized in both. Okay, as a matter of fact, my current job, we do use a third-party tool where we have student, you know, information that we display on the mobile. I think when I was in Bangladesh, I showed it to Galib. I don't remember if I did, but anyway, so you can see pictures and student ID and all that stuff, student courses, and like, you know, registration and things like that. So same goes with mobile. I mean, sorry, web. And as I said, web, there is only 3. And by the way, there is also Windows mobile, but it's not as popular as Android and the iPhone. And this, going back to the web, I mentioned there is only three types of programming. One is PHP, which is kind of low budget, meaning it's all free. Java is also free. And also Microsoft.NET, which is more like from the Microsoft. So these 3 are on the front end, and then back end, if you want database, there is all kinds of database. MySQL is free. You know, then there is MS SQL, there is Oracle, there is Postgres. And of course, we have not touched some other topic, which is big data, cloud computing. So, you know, that's another, you know, whole world that you know, you dig into. So same thing goes with the enterprise app, and then of course software engineering. So in any of these, you will find there will be some similarities, and also there will be some unique cases. So anyone interested on, like, say, game, they could be also doing the software engineering methodology. They could be software engineering as well. Enterprise app developer could be a software engineer, or enterprise software engineering development. Okay, same web, mobile. So again, as I said, all this kind of merges. You could be a web developer, but again, in the web, you're doing game development, because there are lots of games actually available online, right? So you could be game developer, but doing for mobile. So again, they all you know, kind of connect with each other. Okay, hopefully you get the idea. So for someone like intro level, what's next? I showed you some courses that, you know, you have to take courses geared programming. Focus, try to stick with one programming, and again, you have enough resources to look for what would be the best programming for you to actually try to learn. And if you're good in one programming, it's very easy to switch into other programming. I can share with my example. As I said, I took lots and lots of Java courses, you know, as a student in my undergrad, in my graduate courses. And then I was a full-time Java programmer from 2004 to 2014. Yes, and also I was teaching lots of different Java courses, you know, from 2006 to 2016. And so that gave me a very solid background. And of course, for my PhD, when I was doing it around 2017, I had to learn Python. So it took me 1 week just to learn that language, because, you know, once you know one language, you become good with logic, and then very easily you can actually learn the other languages, because those if-else structure, for loop, if like, you know, while loop, this kind of comes in all languages. Maybe syntax are different, the presentation is different, but they follow the same structure. Okay, so hopefully you get the idea. So you take any courses, you learn the programming, understand the algorithm, very important, understand the databases, and sometimes you need to understand the business rules. Okay, what is the business rules? Like, for example, again, in the game development, how are you designing that game? How are you prototyping it? You know, or if you're talking about a corporation, they want you to build an application for them, how the business rules will be applied for that. Or you want to design an like, you know, online shopping mall. Okay, and there are different kinds of business rules, and it could be very simple, like, say, do you let customer choose, like, say, 5 products, for example? What is the maximum level of products that you let a customer choose? I'm just giving some very detailed level examples. So, you know, these are kind of like, you know, some business rules. And then, you know, you build some dummy projects, and it could be anything from any related, any topic. It could be a game, it could be mobile, it could be web, or it could be an enterprise app. And it could be, of course, following the software engineering rules and guidelines. So if just now, the catch is, of course, you need to have an like, you know, what do you call, a place where you can be testing your code. So, you know, you could be you will be needing an interface. For example, you need a game like, you know, platform where you could be testing your game. So there is lots and lots of free ones out there. Same with the mobile app. You have tools that can do your testing. Of course, for the web, we know we have Mozilla Firefox, Mozilla, we have Google Chrome, we have Edge, we have Internet Explorer. So these are not that difficult. And of course, for enterprise app, you have to have an application server, database server, and that you can build for free. Actually, you know, there is Tomcat for free, and even our businesses, you know, a lot of organizations that I worked, they were also using those free ones to save money. Okay, and same thing, of course, databases. As I said, MySQL is free, and these days you actually have hosting companies where they support these servers internally. So you can even take that. And software engineering, of course, it's a methodology. It's more about you just know their rules and regulations. Okay, and then, as I said, like, you know, look through the job search and see what are they expecting from you. Okay, and like, as well, I said before, you need to build your portfolio, resume, or CV, and you know, and from there you can take it. Hopefully, this time next year you will have some level of progress. And I know you, most of you, I mean, all of you are very, very intro level, but again, this is a good timing for you. Hopefully, you know, when you are taking a class next time, maybe some of these buzzwords that I covered so far, some of them will come back. You know, even if it doesn't come back, on back of your head, you know, hopefully, that what needs to be done, and you take it from there. Okay, and as you know, today is the last we are covering in our lecture series. So if any of you, if you want to connect me with any way, you know, these are my different informations. I'm usually more available on emails, you know, and but we can actually make the communication. You know, if you need to, and you need any advice or any guideline or anything for any reason. So does anybody have any question? Okay, if you have any question, you can type it up, or you can just speak up. If there is no question, I'm gonna actually maybe stop the lecture in a minute. And again, as I said, today is the last lecture, so this would be your last chance to talk to me in person, since we already have the live Zoom session going on. Other than that, you know, you have to communicate most likely with the email or you know, some other mechanism. And this lecture will be available publicly, so you don't need to worry about like, you know, private lectures. So I mean, you know, all I can say, wish you all the best, and good luck. You know, it seems like, okay, thank you, Araf, for and Galib, for letting me know that there is no question. So I will be stopping the lecture from here. And again, as I said, wish you all the best, and hopefully you do very well in your school. And again, as I tried to make recommendation earlier, don't get tied up so much about the grading. It's more important that what you learn. That's what it's gonna like, you know, help you for your future career. Most of the time, employers are not, I don't know about Bangladesh, but here they're not concerned about you know, your degrees or your like, you know, 4 GPAs. or high-level GPAs, or you have all A's in all your courses. That doesn't mean anything if you cannot produce a project they are expecting you to do. Okay, so thank you, and thank you all as well. So again, I will end it here and wish you all the best.